Welcome to the Pilot Podcast,
where we review the pilot episodes of TV shows to answer your question, should I watch this?
My name is Mitu.
And my name is BJ.
And this week, we're watching the listener-requested Furious on Hulu.
So stay tuned to find out what kind of FBI call agent Mitu would be.
Oh, please. Okay.
Oh, strong reaction. Save it for after our review.
Yeah, sure. Everyone listening just can feel from me the ability to jump in and take action.
I feel like you would be good on a phone call. I said call agent.
That's true. Okay, yeah. I'll think about it. Until then, I'll think about it.
And while you do that, can you let us know what happened in this cop versus serial killer chase?
Absolutely. In Furious on Hulu, we meet FBI agent Alice, played by Emmy Rossum, who is on the hunt for a mysterious and calculating female serial killer, played by Lola Pettigrew. Both walk their own paths toward justice, and as their lives start to intertwine, the line between right and wrong begins to blur. I should also say the same person who created this show is also the same mind behind like New Girl and No Strings Attached.
Really?
So like the rom-com universe. Yeah, because when I saw her name, I was like, that is a name I know I've seen many, many times. And it's because every time I watch the credits for New Girl, it's like created by. So the same person, Elizabeth Merriweather.
Wow, what range.
Right?
To go from truly bright and happy with some dark storylines, some mature storylines in New Girl, to such a creepy, dark, violent show. That's very different.
And she's done some dramas since, but definitely it feels like we graduated to this from that beginning.
So going from their other work to this one, how do you feel having such a creepy serial killer as your lead?
This was so dark. It was literally dark in hue. It was dark in music. It was dark in tone. It was dark in how people were speaking, like literally a lot of low cop speaking and a lot of like, I am a serial killer hiding my identity. So just like quiet speech. I felt stressed for 49 minutes watching this.
It is so tense, especially because it opens up, light spoiler, with a victim suffering.
Yeah.
And we see how Catherine approaches all of her victims. We kind of get a sense of her persona that she puts on, and it was unnerving.
Incredibly unnerving. I also, because it's on Hulu, I thought it was like originally airing on ABC. So imagine my surprise when some darker stuff happens in this program. And I was like, whoa, they're really letting anything fly.
Like, how can they show that? How can they have drugs like this, violence like this, nudity like this?
Yes.
And they can't.
I was like, what are they doing on ABC Network? They're not. It's on Hulu. That's on me. A user error, if you will. With that, there were also sad parts of this show, of course. The show is called Furious. We know that both Alice and the serial killer that she is hunting have experienced some really difficult, violent trauma with men in their lives, and they've come out of it two very different ways.
Yes.
Alice is internalizing it, and our serial killer is externalizing it.
That's so interesting when you line it up like that, because they are both victims of this abuse, and their solution are either stop further abuse or cause further abuse.
Yes. And for Alice, we learn that like she kind of, as a light spoiler, engages in some masochism. Like she seems to be punishing herself. Whereas our serial killer is like, I'm actually going to punish everybody that coulda, mighta, maybe sniffed at what was happening to me in the past.
And I think they present both characters in a way that you can understand their motives. Sometimes serial killers are a little too confusing or mysterious. I like that it's very clear what's motivating everyone's actions.
They're furious.
It's in the title.
And it's crystallized by the sex crimes agent that Alice connects with, Nora, played by Quincy Tyler Bernstein. She's also furious, by the way. She's just taken a different path of exhaustion.
Nora seems like she's ready for retirement.
Nora actually made me laugh out loud. One thing I will say, for as dark as this show is, there were like 4 moments that made me actually like cackle. It was Nora just absolutely shutting down a conversation with Alice in a way that I feel that I too would shut down a conversation, which is unintentionally getting taken up by the sounds of Casey and JoJo. There was Alice going to dinner with her sister and having that very awkward exchange where they were like, "Ooh, you're an FBI agent. Do you have a gun on you?" And Alice was like, "Yeah, there's a Glock on my leg and a mini Glock on my hip. I could hurt everyone at this table." And she is not laughing. Which made me cackle. And then there were just moments like that where there was such a needed light amongst all the dark. So shout out to Nora for that, but also to Nora for crystallizing the why of both of these women's actions. Because it does get sad. Especially the moments where our serial killer is in a shelter. Like some of the things that she encounters, including from people that are supposed to be helping her, it just broke my heart.
It's an emotional show because of our 2 leads' storylines, backstories that are revealed. And like you said, Nora brings some levity, and even Alice's friend and former partner, Danny, played by Scoot McNairy, not necessarily bringing humor, but does help balance out Alice, who is maybe a little tense as she is so focused on the case at hand, and he's able to take a deep breath.
That's one campy thing about the show. Alice is a capital C cop. Like, the way Emmy Rossum is portraying this character, her accent, the way she carries herself. There's a moment where she eats part of Danny's sandwich in a way that made my whole body shiver.
And Danny's.
But it was like, I'm a cop. Like, I don't have time for niceties. You know, it was basically that. You know, if cops just sort of all had whatever that accent was.
The cop scent.
With that, I will say this show was really, really interesting. Like, for a 49-minute pilot, which I know you and I tend to stand outside and picket, like we protest this, I don't think that they wasted any time. I was riveted from start to finish in all the creepiness, in all the tension. But you raised this question that I think is worth asking. How sustainable is this? How many people are we going to see our serial killer nab?
It is something that always comes up when you have one serial killer for the show. And it doesn't seem like Furious is set up where Alice will be chasing the serial killer of the season. Maybe they will flip it that direction. But there's a big question of how long until they cross paths, and how long will she just keep murdering people and we just keep following that journey?
Maybe them crossing paths brings the sustainability, because Killing Eve lasted a few seasons.
Were there any new killers introduced after season 1?
I don't know. I tapped out. So maybe I'm part of the problem here.
I tapped out, so that's why I asked. We're uninformed.
We're uninformed voters right now. But I am intrigued by the possible dance we have between these 2 women, because they are aggrieved in very similar ways. They are similarly righteously angry, and they are similarly willing to bend the rules to get what they want. For Alice, it's finding the killer, finding the people that are doing violent things to bring them to quote unquote justice. And for our serial killer, it's kind of the same.
True. Same goal. Do you want them to work together by the end of this journey, or do you want one of them to be left standing? Or maybe neither?
I think neither. I don't think either path is one to like a good thing. I think where the show, if I were to predict, ends up is they will end up kind of working together, where Alice is brought over to the bad side a little bit. She realizes maybe I should just kind of handle some of these bad actors the way that our serial killer does. And then maybe our serial killer will like stop just short of doing something so terrible, because she's like, I've grown a little bit of a moral compass thanks to Alice. We'll see. But I could see some kind of situation like that. With that, do you want to watch more episodes of Furious on Hulu?
I would watch again casually. Like you said, it is a long show, but I think they fit in enough content that it keeps your attention. And the story isn't convoluted. We have one main storyline of these two kind of weaving and crossing paths eventually based on murders and some side stories about their backstory, which I think will play a larger role. And I like our leads. They're very interesting people. And I think you brought up some interesting theories about how they might collide and how that might end the story. And I want to see that. How do you feel?
I agree. I would watch again casually for all those reasons. I think it's a very interesting story. I think our leads in their own right are compelling, and I want to see how that comes together. My only caveat is would watch again casually in the sunlight, like in the 12 p.m.
full day.
The sun is shining full day, because it is so creepy that I could not have that be the last thing I watch before I go to bed, for example. So for anyone else who's like a sensitive TV viewer, I would not watch this at night or first thing in the morning. At least for me, I never like to start my day with something like that. And I don't like to watch it before bed. It's like when I used to watch Game of Thrones, I hated like watching some random person be beheaded and then just time to shut my eyes, go to sleep.
Yeah. And with this one and the serial killer's behavior, it makes you question, who can I trust? Are they a real person?
Exactly. It's very unsettling, not just the violence, like the behavior and the actions are unsettling.
So speaking of unsettling things, if you were a call agent for the FBI, you might get unsettling phone calls. How do you think you would behave and perform in that environment?
That is a job. I've never been fired in my life.
Great.
I think that's a job that either I would quit within the day of like, whoa, I'm working for what? Like I took a left where I should have taken a right. Or they would be like, hey, by the way, when you get a disturbing call, you can't scream, cry, and hide under your desk. It has been half an hour of you working. And so either way, I think that relationship would have to come to a close pretty early. And for me, there would be no hard feelings.
Okay, so essentially it'd be a one-day thing for you.
Oh, if that. I'm not making it to lunch.
Oh, okay.
This is a kind of the first hour. Hopefully it's an office by like a nice coffee shop so the day isn't wasted. Like I could do something nice before I go home.
Curious. I wonder how much time you put in to get the job to only stay 1 to 4 hours max.
It'd have to be a mistake on their part because I also never, ever want clearance. Don't give me clearance. It's so scary.
So a lot of dominoes fell just right to get you there.
It's a Rube Goldberg machine to hell.
And then you left.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, after she leaves that job, Me Too will need some shows to watch. And that's why we review episodes on our website, thepilotpodcast.com. And you can follow us on all of your favorite podcast platforms.
You can also follow us on social media at The Pilot Pod, and you can send thoughts, feelings, show recommendations, because every other week, just like this one, we do a show recommended by you, our wonderful listeners, to askthepilotpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Bye.